and now concentrate their thoughts, efforts, and the whole hopes of a nation on reaching the last four and a meeting with Brazil inside Tala. We're just about set. Seconds out, round one between these two bruisers of World Cup football. Senegal, the only African team still left in the competition. And Senegal have won an early throw in there. Camara, who scored twice in the last round against the Swedes, denied by Boulan's clearance. Senegal in the predominantly white strip. Kohli there has a slight thigh injury, hence the strapping. And it's Kohli to take this throw in here for Senegal. Run long into the box. The aerial threat of Senegal is already clear. Papa Bouba Diop flicking this one on, but unable to hit the target. But Alpine had a bit of a problem there for Turkey. The African drums are already beating. Turkey are the first team since Italy and Bulgaria in '94 to lose their opening game and still reach the quarter-finals of the competition. The Turks have had their critics. They've already had 4 players suspended from this World Cup, but they can find the target. They've scored at least once in their last 16 internationals. Boulan spraying the ball forward. All very calm in the opening couple of minutes, but not expected to stay like that for too long. Here's Bashtuk. Boulan to take the free kick. Yıldari Bashtuk, the playmaker of Turkey. Hasan Sass. Bashtuk. Hakan Şükür waits at the back post. It's Bashtuk. It's cleared by Senegal. Good clearance by Aliou Cissé. Tugay helps the ball in towards Umit Davala. Adiga just helped the ball on there. Diouf. Kohli. As Diouf to aim at. On a languid ball forward towards Diouf. Alhaji Diouf, the player who says he's signed for Liverpool. It's still to be confirmed. The African Footballer of the Year, such a dangerous player. This is Alpine. He's already served a suspension in these championships after a sending off against the Brazilians. Rushdu. Boulan. One of the mainstays of the Galatasaray defence for many years. Ergun. Left-hand side of midfield. Kohli to take the throw here for Senegal. Camara. Papa Diop. Diouf. Great chance here for Diouf. The ball just seemed to get stuck under his studs there. Vadiga gets it wide and the move breaks down. Well, Bruno Metso said his team looked tired. They looked anything but in the opening few minutes, but it could be a very long evening indeed. Remember, this game has to be settled tonight, and if it takes extra time, goals or penalties, so be it. This is Rushdu, who has had his injury problems this week. Hasan Sass beaten in the air. The Senegalese team are really, really big and physical. Camara scrapping for the ball here. Two-guy bypassed in midfield. Two-guy has it back. Hassan Sass now for the Turks. He was pulled back quite clinically there by the captain of Senegal, Aliou Cissé. Just a slap across the chest of Hassan Sass. The Italian newspapers have been rich with talk of Sass moving to Serie A next season. There was Sass almost on the end of that through ball, knocked down. Two-guy. Bashtuk. Good job. Hassan Sass getting a whack on his shin even at this stage. Bad job with the tackle here. If Senegal could keep this man quiet, they'll do pretty well. Free kick to Turkey. Bullet drives it in. Bashtuk, two-guy. Tony Silva to the rescue. And he reserve at his club Monaco. This is Rushdu, who damaged a thigh against Costa Rica. Emre took it well. This is Sass. Options to his right. Ümit Dybala now for Turkey. Hakan Şükür waits for the cross. Bashtuk. The ball just took an age to come down. And Aliou Cissé nicked it just in time there for Senegal. Alpine. Hassan Sass. This is the fullback Daf helping it back for Tony Silva. Well, a moment of high anxiety there at the back. As Turkey just squeeze the accelerator. Juf. Rushdu trying to get back here. Camera's waiting in the middle. It's over Camera's head. What a great turn by Fadiga. It's Camera. And quite superbly won by Fati. So strong on the ball. Poor distribution. Senegal have it back with Diatta. Juf to his right. Kohli to his right. And Emre mops up here. Nice pace to this game in the opening 10 minutes. Cooper John has won the ball, but he's given away a free kick. Good. Now by Kohli, free kick to the Turks. And this is a worrying sight for Turkey with Hassan Sass still receiving attention. Hakan Şükür. And this is Bashtuk. Emre. While the World Cup is resigned to having less than experienced semi-finalist, it is a marvellous opportunity for one of these two countries to experience the very heights of international football and advance the sport in their countries. Here's Hassan Sass. Ümit Dybala. Ümit Dybala doing well. And he's delivered a cross as well. It's over Sass's head. It's through to Kohli. They're going to take this throw for Turkey. Sass. Emre. Good. Two-guy. Imit Davala. Papa Jock with the clearance. All the pressure coming on the Senegalese defence. Boupa Diop. Diouf. Altın did well just to deny him. This is Henri Camara. Coley. This is where Senegal is so dangerous on the counter-attack. They're so fast. Badiga. Salif Diao getting the ball wide. Salif Diao again. Coley. Camara. Coley. Boupa Diop. Imit Davala now for Turkey. Two go. Turkey did reach the last stage at Euro 2000. It was their best ever performance in the competition. And their exit against Portugal was marred by the sending off of Alpay for hitting Fernando Couto. They do have a temperamental side, the Turks. Something of their game they're trying to eradicate. And there's a push there by Imit Davala. That was an interesting ball link, trying to pick out Imit Davala, who made the angled run. We've had 11.5 minutes of the game, still 0-0. Hassan Sass, good knock down there to Bashduk. Daf with a very, very cynical challenge. Omar Daf, first player to be booked. I don't think he'll be the last. So free kick to Turkey, who started the game well. Tugay. Broke it wide here to Ergun. Took a deflection. Ergun had Camara landing on his shoulder. This Colombian official, highly regarded, and he's going to have to be on his mettle tonight. For two teams who know every trick in the book. And some tricks that haven't been written yet. So, free kick to the Turks. Hassan Sass prepares to take it. He's bent it in towards the far post. Able to pick out Imit Davala. Looks pretty cheesed off with life at the moment. Hassan Sass trying to get there. Tugay. Hassan Sass. Imit Davala. Badiga. Senegal haven't really got going yet. There's a foul on Kemio Fadiga from Auxerre. Free kick to Senegal. Fadiga. Bent in towards Diouf and got away by Alpay. Boupa Diop. referee here is Altın from Galatasaray. Despite their war of words this week, the game has started in a pretty sportsmanlike manner. No sign of the aggression and anger that the two camps were sprouting this week. Sturk offside. Imagine that tempo to increase fourfold if Senegal can manage a goal. My guess is that Senegal would have preferred this game to be played in the afternoon when the more humid conditions might have been slightly in their favour. So many of these Senegalese players are with French club sides, but always first-team regulars of those club sides. Like the Senegalese goalkeeper, Teddy Silva, only a reserve at Monaco. And here is Teddy Silva. He's let in 4 goals so far on these championships. Kohli. Still struggling with that knee injury, Kohli. Juff has hardly got in the game so far. Here he is, Juff. Camera. Loves to shoot from range. And did so there. Sort of range he scored twice against Sweden. Kohli. Just a high, hopeful ball forward. Camera's flicked it on. I have been impressed with the Turks in the opening quarter of an hour. They've controlled the game pretty well. And whereas they haven't really created a clear-cut opening, I feel it's only a matter of time before they do. It's Bülent. Umit Davala. Hassan Sass. Teddy Silva has had his critics in his career. They say he's unconventional and a liability, but he's a pretty good goalkeeper. Juff. Remember, the winners will play Brazil in the World Cup semi-final in Saitama. What a terrific achievement for either of these two countries. Two unfancied teams before the World Cup began. Turkey returning to the World Cup finals after a 48-year absence. Their last involvement in 1954. The furthest they've ever been. Senegal in their first ever appearance at the World Cup. They've got further than the likes of France, Italy, Argentina, Portugal, some of the big names of world football. Kohli to take the throw. Went on by John. Fadiga. Camera. It's been squeezed in, and the Turks are claiming a foul. And there's a free kick right on the line because of an offside. Let's see where that offside was there. Camera 7 offside. When he stopped the ball on the line, it was never going to count because Camera in that position there was clearly offside. That's why when the two Turkish defenders are already stopped before Juff slammed the ball into the net. It's still 0-0. Kohli. Terrific support for Senegal, and their supporters right behind them now. Fadiga. Juff says corner, and the referee says goal kick. That's where camera quite clearly was offside, number 7 at the right of your picture. Wasn't a single player between him and the opponent's goal, hence the flag was raised. Give me a few doubts or complaints about that decision. This is Hasan Sass. Bashtug. Minutes of goalless football, but that's hardly a surprise when so much is resting on the outcome of this game. Neither team are likely to head forward and play attacking football. Emre has been penalised here. I think for stamping in more than anything else. And for that he's received a yellow card. Second booking of the game from the referee from Colombia. This is Kohli. The hot beverages have arrived at the commentary position. My thanks to Sue for bringing the hot drink down. Shuko waits for the ball, and it's ricocheted towards him, although Daff will be there first for Senegal. Tennis Fadiga. Sass. And this is Umit Davala. And Joff's on his way here. Trying to keep control of the football, and he's done brilliantly. Camera waits for the cross. Into the side netting. Fadiga slammed the ball into the side netting when Camera had made the angle for the cutback. Watch number 7 here, right to the centre of your picture. Again, Camera had strayed into an offside position, then came back onside. And by that time there was little to shoot at, and Bushtu had his near post covered. Six is Aliou Cisse. We've reached the midway point of the first half in this World Cup quarter-final. Turkey in red, 0. Senegal, 0. Kohli with the intercepting header. 21 is Emre. Cleared by Cisse, the captain. Turned on by Kohli. There's that whiff of just what might be about this football match. It's likely to explode into life at any moment. Camera. Fadiga. Who was suspended in the last game. Bupa Diop has been fouled. Good last 10 minutes by Senegal. They pushed Turkey back after the Turks had made significant inroads into that Senegalese defence. And nobody has found the opening goal just yet. Fadiga with a free kick. Appeals again for offside. I thought 2 Senegalese players were caught offside, including Bupa Diop here. Maybe not so. Fadiga whipped in the free kick, and the Turks are pretty static at the back. Salif Diao closest to getting his head on the ball, but not quite close enough. Two-guy, Fatty. Alpi. If Turkey thought they had a foothold in this match, that foothold has crumbled somewhat recently. Let's see how they do here. At the back of my mind is the injury to Hasan Sass after about 10 minutes. Since that injury took place, Sass, number 11 for Turkey, has been a very desolate figure rather. He's hardly got involved in the game. But here's Hakan Şükür. Lovely turn. Here's Hasan Sass. Şükür! Oh, goodness me. What an opportunity for Hakan Şükür, the all-time top goal scorer in Turkish football, but he hasn't scored at World Cup 2002, and he'll never get a better chance. Ümit Davala. He watched that ball go past him like he was waiting at a bus stop and just forgot to put out his hand to signal he wanted to get on. Hasan Sass. So Senegal have had a bit of a let-off here. Can they build on that good fortune? The ball ricochets off the shins of Kalidou Fadiga. Now, explain the inexplicable. Oh. If Turkey lose this quarter-final, he has some explaining to do to the coach. Down on his knees. As a striker, you're bound to be affected by those sort of errors in front of goal. They say that strikers live on confidence. Well, Hakan Şükür doesn't seem to be particularly filled with confidence at the moment, and that last instant won't have helped. Camera. Juf. Başçuk. And Sass keeps it in play. In towards Şükür. He hasn't any confidence at all. Yes, it was a good cross. He thought about drawing his right boot back here and trying to volley the ball in. Thought about getting his head on the ball and somehow got caught between the two options. To be introduced to the football at half-time, because he hasn't seen much of it so far. There's a head injury to a Turkish player. That's why the ball rather sportingly has been put out. Collision of heads between Kohli and Sass. And Sass has really been in the wars. As Kohli says, it was an accidental collision of heads, and the slow motion replay bears that out. Turkey will build once again here with Bülent, who picks out Altın. 8 here is Tugay, 10 is Baştuk. Emre trying to nip it. There just wasn't any space. Good defending from Bupacok. Emre. Sass. Sass with options further ahead of him here. Hakan Suka, whose touch has let him down again. Emre. Always difficult to prejudge the coach, but every time Turkey get the ball forward in an advanced position, it appears to me that Hakan Suka seems to lose it. That's just giving Senegal a terrific advantage. And all this delicate build and play by the Turks is fine and dandy, but that final ball has been hugely disappointing. Altın, Şükrü. Altın charges forward. Bit of good luck again by Senegal in defence. Won back by Tugay here for Turkey. Batty. Bülent, the back marker. It is reminiscent of a good book. We've had a very good opening chapter, but the plot is yet to unfold. Sass caught there. Caught by Cisse, who's rumoured to be heading for English football next season with newly promoted Birmingham City. They're playing in the English Premiership. Suka, again he failed to make contact. Got the ball to safety. Someone put an arm round his shoulder. He needs it. Kohli to take the throw for Senegal. I suspect there might have been a handball in there somewhere. And despite that, surely not me expression on the face of Diouf, it was pretty close to the referee's assistant. Ergun with the free kick. And either a touch of cramp or an injury for Emre, which looks quite serious. Didn't see how Emre damaged himself. It looks like his muscle is in spasm or something like that. Here's the incident. There was nothing wrong there. As far as Emre was concerned, anyway. bit of TLC, that's all. A drop ball, and Senegal will give the ball back to the Turks. And with 10 minutes to go to half-time, no sign of the opening goal, though Turkey will rue the missed chances they've had. Especially that one by Hakan Şükür right in front of goal. Hasan Sass. Emre ready to re-enter the fray. Here he is. As far as a neutral is concerned, the game probably needs a goal at this stage, because both sides are being very, very cautious, and who can blame them? It certainly hasn't been the physical warfare we were promised by both camps. Not yet, anyway. Hasan Sass. He's got Ümit Dybala in a good crossing position. Hakan Şükür. Emre in towards Sass. There could be a break on here for Senegal if they can get the ball forward quickly. Not that quickly. Great tackle. Tugay helping it back to Alpine, and back to Tugay again. Sass. Terrific ball. Ergun is in here. Great cross. He's missed it again. Maybe I'm being slightly hard then on Hakan Şükür, but I thought that was a terrific opportunity for a striker of his quality. He seemed to decelerate here just at the final moment. And Papa Jock managed to get the ball away. Brilliant. Ümit Dybala, Tugay. 7 minutes to half-time. Turkey continue to take the game here to Senegal. Ümit Dybala. Fadiga. Salif Chow. Fadiga now for Senegal. Just crowded out, and eventually the Senegalese player gave away a free kick, which Turkey have quickly taken. It's Sass. It's Baştuk. '21 is Emre. Great ball. It's Sass. He forgot to shoot. Everything was superb there for Turkey, except the final shot on goal. That's been a familiar theme this evening. Dangerous play, free kick to the Turks, and on they go again. Baştuk, Emre. One back by Aliou Cisse. Fadiga. Juf. Go into Senegal. Senegal unbeaten in their last 12 competitive internationals since losing 1-0 to Tonga in qualifying for the African Cup of Nations. They have become a durable and difficult side. This is two guys picked up a knee injury here. Spirit of Bruno Metsu's side took them past France in the opening game. There were draws with the Danes and Uruguay. Here they come, and they almost get a goal because of Rushdou's ineffective handling, but he got away with it. He has a big smile on his face. That's great to see. Senegalese have only actually won 2 games in this tournament against France and Sweden. 2 guy back on, incidentally, just out of your camera shot. That knee injury. Lovely flick on by Jouf. Camera. Gasp of expectation around the stadium from the African fans. Sass forward towards Hakan Şükür. The ball's played far too long. My guess is that both coaches will say to their respective teams at half-time, attack a bit more in the second half, because they have been cautious. Whereas that's hardly a surprise. It's lovely skill by Emre. Turks very confident on the ball indeed. Baştürk, and 21 here is Emre. It's Tugay who's recovered from that knee injury. Hasan Sass. This is Altın. 21 is Emre. Şükür giving chase. Silva got theirs first. It was a good piece of goalkeeping. Batty towards Şükür, put it down well to Sass. Goalkeeper hasn't got there. Fantastic goal line clearance. Omar Darf denied Baştürk the opening goal of the match. Terrific Turkish move. Şükür helped it down. Sass saw the run here of Baştürk, and that little deft header cleared on the line by Daf. Well done, sir. Corner then to Turkey. Final 2 minutes of the first half. This is a lower. They've all missed it again. Jouf. Turks growing in confidence. Some of their football has been sublime at times, but they can just get that little bit of luck in front of goal and turn all this advantage territorially to a numerical advantage in the scoreline. Three went for this ball. Bülent jumped over it. You can see that Şükür was having his jersey tugged. Five here is Altın. Emre. There's appeals for a handball there against Kohli, not given. Of the two coaches, I'm pretty sure that Şenol Güneş will be the happier of the two. Kohli. Emre making life difficult for him. He's done very well as Ferdinand Coly. He's hobbled off after an hour against Uruguay with that knee injury. Turkey are on the defensive at the end of the first half. Corner kick to Senegal. Padiga takes it. Easy catch for the goalkeeper. And good distribution there by Rüştü. Mikhat Baştuk. Emre. Ümit Davala. Sass. Just managed to control the ball, but with his throat. It breaks here to Fatih. Another ball into the box, trying to pick out Hakan Şükür. Camera gets past Tugay. Camera. It's Joff. Lovely turn, fantastic tackle by Altın. This is turning out to be a very good game of football. Two teams who are slowly turning their attentions towards attacking play. And a warm round of applause at half-time. Şükür has missed his fair share of chances, and with a bit more luck he could have got his name on the score sheet. Camera caught offside.
Try and get him turning himself around.
I wouldn't give him any more than 15 minutes, no question. He's sadly out of form and out of touch, and you know, this is a game of your life. You can't wait too long.
Okay, well, let's get back to Gary Bloom in Osaka for the second half of Senegal and Turkey.
So it's going to be Turkey to restart the game in this World Cup quarter-final. 0-0 at the break. The Turks, who've had the lion's share of chances, now need to roar significantly and take one of them. Turkey only recorded their second victory at the World Cup finals in 48 years when they beat Japan in round 2. They did have some indifferent results in their warm-up games for this World Cup. They lost 1-0 to Ecuador, which made a few people sit up and realise it was going to be tough for Turkey. They started their campaign at the World Cup with a defeat against Brazil, a very contentious game with 2 Turkish players sent off. They drew 1-1 with Costa Rica and then beat China decisively 3-0. And then beat the co-host Japan 1-0. Daf with the ball forward, looking for Juff. Senegal, one of only 4 debutants to reach this second phase, and the second African nation to reach this stage of the World Cup finals. Cameroon were the first 12 years ago, when they were beaten in the quarter-finals by England. This is Omar Daf, who made that marvellous goal-line clearance to deny Baştuk a goal in the first half. Daf trying to get round Ümit Davala, and he's done just that. Padiga. No foul on camera, and the Turks have swept the ball upfield here. Yatta helps it back to Silva. Offside. Alpine squeeze through to Baştuk. This is Tugay. Baştuk again. Sass. Options to his left here. Away by Diatta, only as far as Sass. It was a brave attempt by Sass. He's injured himself in the process. Batting it now for Senegal. Diouf, lovely touch. No foul, play on. Sass back on his feet. Bachtour. Devala. Umi Devala again. Down the line here to Bachtour. Devala. Jot got in the way, luckily for Senegal anyway. 3.5 minutes have elapsed in this second half. Corner to the Turks. Only been 4 shots on goal in the entire match. Turkey have only had 1. Emre drives it in. Away by Kohli to the corner. Alpay prominently forward here for Turkey. Can he get on the end of Emre's corner kick? Not like that. Kohli again to the rescue. With every minute that ticks by, the stakes get that little bit higher. Because whoever scores, it puts the pressure on the other team to try and find an equalising goal in what time is left available. It's Camara sprinting away here for Senegal. Aliou Cissé. Tackled by Tugay. Sass. Batty. Sass again for Turkey. Tugay. Hakan Şükür is possessed. Here comes Senegal. Fadiga. Daf. Salif Chow. The African team trying to slow the game down here. When they move the ball into the last third, they can be lightning quick. Diouf is after it, away by Alpay. Camara. And Kohli's arriving here for Senegal. It's a very deep one. Picked up by Fadiga. Being hauled back here by Devala. Away by Alpay. Good defensive header there by number 5 Alpay. Yeah. Trying to get away from Devala. Boulan with a foul. Boulan tried to get the ball, but the back of Camara's foot came first. Fans are making one heck of a din now. There's a sense of expectation creeps into this stadium. Can Senegal take the lead? Salif Chow is 15. Diouf stands over the ball, number 11. Chow walks away. It looks like he's going to be number 11, Diouf. It is Diouf. That far away. A groan of disappointment as the slow-motion replay of this effort is shown on the giant screens behind each goal. In fairness, I think Grishtu had the free kick covered, and had it been any lower, he'd have tipped it for a corner. little ifs and buts. Wasn't necessary. Juff. Verdigan. Roll the ball back into trouble, and then Bashtur lost it. It's Fadiga again. Terrific ebb and flow of this football match. It's still hard to determine who's going to win it. It's Juff. And he was pushing Alpine. Free kick now to the Turks. Fadiga. Xiao. Daf. Senegal, runners-up in the African Cup of Nations, trying to go to the semi-finals of the World Cup beyond their wildest dreams. Here's Turkey. A cross by Sas, cut out with some ease. Juff. Cameron left the ball behind. Gave it away to Umit Davala now. Davala helps it forward to Bashturk. It's Bashturk. Well, he tried to bend that one in, but I think that was aiming for the corner flag. He cut inside his marker here, John. Difficult to ascertain where that ball was heading, but I'm not sure it was on target. Umit Davala with a throw. Fatty. Another one heading for the corner flag. Let's just watch the flight of the ball here as it left the boot of Bashturk. It was heading away from goal. Nearly 10 minutes have elapsed of this second half. Touched by Juff. Fadiga sprints towards goal. Here is Fadiga. Coley. In fact, it was Cisse. Senegal love to pepper their opponent's goals with shots, but really wasn't going to trouble anybody except the ball boys. And it's two-guy now for Turkey. This football match almost like a seesaw, swinging this way and that. Boulan with a two-footed lunge. Free kick to Senegal. Prominently forward, number 13. So too is Bupa Diop. It's a poor free kick. It's cleared by Alpine. Suta Hassan Sas. And this is Emre. Plays his club football in Italy with Inter. Sas. 22 is Umit Davala. Shuka seemed to stumble there, but again there was no true acceleration as Fatty walloped this ball into the middle. It's where you expect your striker to hit fifth gear, not dip down into third. I just wonder whether Hakan Shuka's carrying an injury at the moment. Coley. Sas. Emre striding forward here. Taps it back to Bashtur. Oh, the control was good, but not good enough. Here comes a counter-attack by Senegal. Fadiga. Lovely turn away from Fatty. Well, he knew what he was doing, but sadly for him, his teammates didn't. traditionally the period of the match where the two coaches might be thinking about a change, but my suspicion is that with the game so tight, both coaches, Senegal Gunesh and Bruno Maxu, will probably leave things as they are, unless, it's a big unless, one of their players is carrying an injury. Salif Jiao, Kohli. Aliou Cisse to his right. Job. Numit Dybala now. It's going to be pretty tough to wave goodbye to one of these two teams because they're both playing decent football. But one has to be eliminated tonight. Covering player there as Jim crashed into the advertising awning. Of course, whoever wins tonight gets two more matches to play at the World Cup semi-final, and either a final after that or a third and fourth place playoff game in Korea. Fatty. Numit Dybala. Job. It's back to Tony Son. Senegal have scored in all 6 games since drawing 0-0 with Cameroon in the African Cup of Nations final. They lost that game on penalties. You can see with their expressive and expansive brand of football, they like to get forward and attack. Senegal lead the way with 5 attempts on goal now to Turkey's 1. When you bear in mind the amount of possession that Turkey are enjoying, 58% compared to Senegal's 42. It really is strange. Maybe they could get a shot in on goal here. Sass. Given away to Alpay, who's looked very strong at the back for Turkey this evening. This is Bülent. It's Hassan Sass. It's Baştuk. Numit Dybala. Lovely cross. Hakan Şükür just unable to connect with the ball at the far post. Run back by Emre. Emre's cross. Yatta gets it clear. What on earth was that? Not the time to show off when the ball's inside your own penalty area. And now Turkey have been awarded a free kick for that foul by Cameroon. Sass. Away by Kohli. Baştuk. Ergun. Sass. Quite clearly no foul. Sass knew that. He's got Cisse booked. Third booking of the game. And the free Free kick to the Turks. Alpine's up there. Taken by Silva. Quick throw out by Silva. This is Ilan from the Besiktas club, who's going to come on for Turkey. Were I a betting man, I would suggest Ilan will replace Hakan Şükür. Those moments as a commentator when you put your neck on the line. We shall see. Ümit Dvala. Again, Hakan Şükür unable to get to the ball as it was drilled into the middle. It's Kohli. Great ball in by Ümit Dvala. Striker would thrive normally on those sort of passes. I'm being told by the Capitan that the substitute Ilan has put his top back on again. Final time, but the scoreline remains 0-0. This is Baştürk there for the Turks. Emre's pitched the ball delightfully here. It's Ümit Dvala. By Dab. So, free kick to Turkey. Still only have one attempt on goal. More than an hour of football. Can he just find that one moment of inspiration which has eluded him so far in these championships? Emre to take the free kick. Beaten away by Silva, good piece of goalkeeping. Camera. Baştürk. Game swinging Turkey's way at the moment. Emre. It's Sass. Goalkeeper's come a long way here. And done very well. To his death. Ball flicked through here, picked up by Rüştü. Sass. Sass is doing the fouling. Free kick for a foul by Sass on Papa Diop. And Hakan Şükür is replaced by Ilan. Modesty forbids me saying any more. So Ilan is on, the leading goal scorer in the Turkish league this season for Besiktas. One of those players born in Germany. Now, this is Camera. For a 0-0 game, this is a very, very good football match. Full of incident and excitement, and although the Turks have only managed one shot on goal, there's so much looking back on their play of what might have been. They've tried to get forward. They have created the chances. They haven't been that clever in front of goal. Oh, he's had an unhappy night. Maybe 30 years old, his last chance to play in the World Cup finals. So he has to rely on his chums getting his team through to the semi-finals, meeting with the team in those famous lemon-coloured shirts, Brazil. Baştürk, Elam. Oh, inadvertently, he almost scored. It came off his shin. He didn't know anything about it. This is a peculiar incident. Call him Ronaldinho. Davala. Elam. In towards number 4, Fatty. Slams the ball into his opposite number 4, Papa Diop from the Lorient club. Turkey's 4th corner. They've bossed every available avenue of this game, but they can't find a goal yet. Anyway, Emre. Two coaches certainly contrasting in their emotions. Bruno Metsu looks very calm. It's possibly going to be a very long evening. We shall see. Juf. Rushdie. Sass. Davala. Baştürk, Davala, good tackle by Daf. Guy with the interception, but he can't halt this Senegalese attack, and in the end Emre did, but it was illegally, and it's a free kick to Senegal. Minutes remain. 20 minutes for one of these two countries to land a knockout punch. Elan and Papa Diop doing a bit of punching of their own. Goalkeeper's come a long way, and he had to get that ball, and he did. Elam, who does possess genuine pace. Sass missed it, Baştürk didn't. It's Sass again. Baştürk. Fatty. In towards Sass. Elam. Went sprawling under the challenge of Ergun from the Galatasaray club. Whoever scores now, it's going to be very difficult for the opposition to claw their way back into it. Senegal now all about late dramatic finales. They managed one against Sweden with a golden goal by Henri Camara. comparison in round 2. The Turks scored very early on against the co-host Japan. Foul by Baştürk. He's the most foul player in the Turkish team. He's the most foul player on the pitch. Def. We're getting to that period of the game when not the team wants to make the mistake which is going to cost them the match, cost them a place in a World Cup semi-final. Sass. That's the 4th free kick he's won in this game. Sass has had an outstanding World Cup, and yet ironically this is probably his least effective match. Ilan is offside. Only just. Can the Besiktas man break the deadlock? And we're 15 minutes away from extra time. Is Salif Chow. Kohli joins the Senegalese attack. Camera trying to shield the ball but unsuccessfully, and Ergun makes progress here. Ilan. Two is Daf. One back by Fatih. One back by Fadiga. And here's Juf. Chased by Ümit Davala. Juf. He'd run the ball out of play. Whole of the ball across the whole of the line, and that's why it's a goal kick. Ümit Davala. Onside here. It's Baştürk. Ilan to his left. I don't believe that the cross has just been delivered by Baştürk when he needed the most delicate of pitching wedges here. He produced the A-time. Here's Baştürk again. Was a heavy hint of offside about that last move. Baştürk's onside again. It's Sass. Ilan. Camera. Juf. And he got the final touch there. Alpay got lucky. Neither of these two sides have ever been involved in a 0-0 scoreline after 90 minutes in a match in the World Cup finals. Coley to take this throw in for Senegal. Elan with a header clear. It's Hassan Sass. Bashtuk. Elan. The strong running Elan. Claims he was impeded there by Coley, but I couldn't see a foul, and neither could the referee. Bülent's the covering player. Bülent again. Ergen. It's been a fascinating game which has always simmered just below boiling point. Sass, Davala. Elan can't get there. Batty. Elan. Didn't appeal for the penalty, but looked rather quizzically towards the referee, and there's a free kick now to Senegal. He was buffeted here. Shoulder met shoulder, certainly, when Death came across. Maybe Elan slightly fortunate not to be shown a yellow card for what they politely call simulation. Less politely, it's called cheating. Shot on goal by Salif Diao. Juf and Salif Diao combined well then. This is Salif Diao, who is just coming back from a 2-match suspension after that very hard tackle on Rennie Henriksen in the match against Denmark, which ended 1-1. Umit Davala. Elan waits for the cross. Abed Silva gives his defenders nightmares when he does things like that. But he gives his coach nightmares too. Terrific run here by Boupa Diop. Fadiga. Umit Davala, last 10 minutes of the game. This is a World Cup quarter-final between Turkey and Senegal. It's 0-0 as the Turkish fans pray for a goal to take them through to the semi-finals where they'd meet Brazil. Alpai diving in there, and he's damaged himself in doing so. Looks like a knee problem for Alpai, who plays his club football in England with Aston Villa. So he took the weight of Boupa Diop's challenge on his knee. Alpai must be injured if he's on the stretcher. They believe they can still find that goal to take them through to the last four. No doubt plenty more Turks will come to the east should Turkey progress. Archie running repairs for Alpai, who won't want to limp out of this contest. Guy. Ball here is Fatty. This is Umit Davala. Hassan Sass. Headed out by Boupa Diop. interesting that the Senegalese backline often push up, allowing gaps like that for the likes of Sass on this near side to exploit. Corner kick by Emre, clear by Coley. Emre once again. Just one or two signs of tiredness amongst the players. This fifth game of the World Cup finals. We're heading towards the 90th minute without a goal. Turkey continue to retain all that possession. They've still only managed 2 shots on goal in the entire game. By comparison, Senegal have had 6, but only one of those have been on target. Foul by Umit Davala. Here is Diatta. Baştuk. Umit Davala. Ergun. Once again, Turkey spraying the ball around, but my goodness, they've had problems on the edge of the Senegalese penalty area. And this here is Fatty. Last 5. It's Coley. Just 5 minutes remaining then. Elan. Almost through. And there was a foul by Elan. Just held back Nardaf. Nobody will want to make a mistake now that would mean elimination. But unless we get a goal in the next 5 minutes, it'll be extra time and a golden goal. So whoever scores it would be the winner. Great touch. Papa Jock, so confident on the ball. And for his persistent fouling, Elan has been shown a yellow card. Juf, away by Alpay. Senegal have certainly gone off the boil as an attacking force in this second half. Coley complaining about the service. Boulant. You can see the pace of the game dropping now as players inevitably tire. It's Sass now trying to pick up the pace. Umit Davala scored the winner in the last round. I thought he might do the same here, but some distance from goal. Camera away by Boulant. Emre. Hassan Sass able to kickstart the Turks. Six here is Cisse. 19 is Bupachop. Well, the Senegal coach Bruno Metsu said his team looked tired. This is going to be a real test of their mental and physical tiredness. Extra time beckons. That looked like handball. Patty. We've got to the period of the match where any goal now is going to be a golden goal because there's so little time left. Umit Davala to take the throw. Good. Ilan. Sass. Is there a late winner here for Turkey? Bashduk. Umit Davala. Senegal back in numbers. And eventually, Turks give the ball away. Good. The final minute of the 90 now. Extra time beckons. Umit Davala. Batty. No foul. Badiga. We have an injury to Umit Davala, who's taken a whack on his shin. Umit Davala had that rather strange haircut whilst out at the World Cup. I'm sure that doesn't reflect in any shape or form on barbers in either Japan or Korea. 2 minutes of stoppage time added on. Nor should that reflect on hat makers in the East. We're in the final minute of stoppage time. Number 6, Arif of Galatasaray, about to come on. Tennis Fadiga. Salif Jiao. Juf. Fadiga. Camera. Senegal almost snatch it right to the death with the man who produced a knockout punch in the last round against Sweden. That could well have been the last chance inside the regulation 90 minutes, or 92 minutes with stoppage time. Juf. And the referee blows a whistle for the end of 90 minutes. Senegal just threatened to steal the match in the last minute or two. But on 90 minutes in this World Cup quarter-final, it remains Senegal 0, Turkey 0.